Toby, jump in. Come on, Craig. Come on,
Right?
whoever else.
Fortunately, the world's not so bleak, though. If we look at the positives from this automation revolution that's happening,
Hey, Mark.
we're seeing that employers are actually seeing they're going to expand their workforce due to automation. There's a significant opportunity because you're able to do more with less. You're able to actually go through and supplement, where again, we're going to get to the 4 S's of how you can break down automation projects inside of your organization. Though we see a significant
Mark.
increase in the likelihood of people onboarding new team members to capture new market share. Now, I think
Mark, I
some of
think you
the
have a question
interjection,
out there.
yes,
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to go too much further, but I guess hearing that, I know training can have its downsides, but the descriptors that I heard, it's not about the training necessarily. It could be if it's poorly designed training. It's much more about adults and human learning that block out what is being presented to them because they're not being entertained enough, is maybe the short-sighted way of saying it. But it's much more about the learner is the problem, not the training.
now is that Toby? Because I don't see your name, though I heard someone reference. Now, can you tell me your name?
That was Brian.
Brian.
I'm
Brian,
Brian.
you said a
Yeah.
word that I believe is so critical to the conversation around training. It's entertained. There is a stimuli that's necessary for us to be able to tap into, activate new learning neurons, the ability to retain information. And I actually talk about
So
that.
this is the downside of adult learners, which is mostly what we're working with here.
100%. And these are people who may, if you think about the learning models that people practice on a regular basis, you think of the way people actually take in new information and utilize it. There's a different methodology. There's a different way in which you can communicate to adults for them to be able to do that, though entertainment is critical. I talk about this in another dialogue. I think one of the companies that does this best as a product is Masterclass. And it's one of the organizations I think has done a phenomenal job around continuing education and building that, entertainment, infotainment type ecosystem. So there's definitely some stuff for us to share there. We'll continue that conversation for sure. Thank you for pausing me and finishing that thought. I like that. Again, we welcome interjections. We're having a fun dialogue here. And back on the topic of why automation is exciting, though, we have an opportunity to increase what we learn. So this comes back to an attitude thing. And it's really a perspective of saying, what's possible? Where do I feel? Where do I align? What am I interested in? Because now technology is empowering me to become the best version of self if I use it in that way. And we have access to new learning, being that even though some digital training may not be effective, not all. I promise, Jim, we could go through some of the training that I'll do digitally through this, computer screen box that we have here. And these instruments are not just for show. Like we'll make it fun and engaging, I promise. Though we'll also make it relevant and then give you the takeaways in the breakout sessions to be able to do it. Now, I know a lot of people really value that in person. We value the touch, and there's a certain energy that's shared. And we do our best to try and facilitate and replicate that type of sharing. And there's things that we can do. We can talk about that at another time, though we are seeing an increase in learning opportunities. So many organizations have provided access to new content and new learnings through digital platforms, and they're creating them in a way that's easy to use in small bite-sized pieces, and that's easy to be replicated to be able to share with other team members what you actually know. And that's one of the pieces that's exciting, because oftentimes we rarely get the ability to share with our peers what we actually understand. There's a significant gap between how we process and share information, what we know, and what we think each other knows. So we're seeing an increase in the visibility in our understanding of each other and each other's skills. And the other piece that's exciting here is that ultimately the shift is going to have a required update to your competencies by 2022, not 20,222. Excuse that.
Good. I thought you were giving us too much time.
Yeah, I wanted to be considerate here, though. Again, we're
slow learners.
Right. Very small, historic, in fact. Oh, I love. You guys are so much fun.